Crossover season is upon us, both in the seasons as well as on the field. Welcome to Lemoyne Field for the home opener for men's lacrosse here, post-university season getting underway with their second game of the year after beating AIC on the road 14-6 last week. Mike Vesci joining you live for this one. A little bit of a wild week here in Waterbury as we had a blizzard roll through on Monday that originally postponed this game, and they were looking to play it on the road either Thursday or Friday, and then we brought it back home for a 4 o'clock start here from Lemoyne Field. No fans allowed as there's snow in the stands, but we're bringing all the action to you live here on the CACC Network and YouTube. So as the teams take the field, let's take a look at your starting lineups for today's game. For the Eagles, it's Nick Gallery, Charlie Foster, John Karras, Ryan Denike, William Henley III, Leighton Cook, Gavin Lee, Liam McCurry in net for his second start of the year, Kyle Such, and Cameron Maunders. As for Assumption, it's Declan Turner, Max Lowenberg, Patrick Johnson, Brian Short, Ben McHugh, Boomer Staunton, Kevin Cherabash, Trent Sargent, Patrick McGrath, and Shane Corcoran. And I apologize for any mispronunciations on the names as well as we roll through today. Kind of last-minute assignment here as we weren't able to find anybody to fill in on PA today. So running double duty today on production as well as the play-by-play. So we'll get all the names correct as we go along here, and ready to take the field and get underway here from Lemoyne, the first game of the 2026 season at Lemoyne Field for your men's lacrosse team. Liam McCurry last time in net, 6 goals allowed, 12 saves, a .667 save percentage in that one to beat AIC 14-6. Ryan Denike led the way with 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists. He was named player of the week. Charlie Foster with his big game on defense, 8 ground balls, got him CACC defensive player of the week. As for Assumption, they roll into this one with receiving votes. It's Boomer Staunton leading the way with 11 goals and 11 points total. Ben McHugh with 8 goals, 2 assists, 10 total points. And Patrick McGrath with 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. The Greyhounds took down D'Youville 22-4, lost to a nationally ranked Mercy 13-12, and then beat Georgian Court 17-7 as we are underway here from Lemoyne Field with the first quarter of action. And it looks like it was we have the sun coming into the press box as well, which makes it a little more difficult to kind of see what's going on the field as it is setting to directly in front of the camera as we trying to get the camera zoomed in a little more for you as well as we're high atop Lemoyne Field now compared to last year where we were eye level as the Eagles are on offense with it now after forcing an early turnover against Assumption. A lot of Assumption in post games going on this week as men's ice hockey is taking on Assumption tomorrow afternoon, the NE10 semifinals, as well as women's ice hockey is taking on Assumption in the Newha quarterfinals, a best of 3, which they're leading right now in the second period 1-0. We'll give you score updates throughout the afternoon on that one. As right now the Eagles in possession of it in front of the goal. It's going to be a turnover there. It looks like that was Keegan Swain, the sophomore midfielder who just transferred in this year from Parker, Colorado, with the turnover. And Assumption will take the ball the other way. About 13 and a half minutes to go, a little bit behind on the clock, but again, doing a little bit of double duty here to keep up here. On offense now with it is Assumption. That's number 21 for the Greyhounds. Boomer Staunton, the leading goal scorer we just talked about. And again, as we get into that left side of the field, a little bit harder to see with all of the shadows in the way from the sun coming right into our eyes. So we're doing the best we can in terms of being able to see what's going on. Staunton's got it up near the blue line. He's coming in with it right in front of that Eagle defense. Now moving to his right. He's going to pass it into the corner, and behind the net it goes. They're wheeling it around now. It looks like to Patrick Johnson. Johnson shot and score against Liam McCurry. And just like that, the Greyhounds take an early 1-0 lead with 13:02 to go in the first quarter. So a turnover on the offensive end for the Eagles turns into offense on the other end for the Greyhounds, who take a quick 1-0 lead here in the first quarter. The Eagles have not beaten Assumption in the all-time series, 0-7 coming into the game. Last year they played them here on a chilly day at Lemoyne Field. Temperatures were in the mid-20s, and we weren't able to stream it because of the high winds that brought the temperature down into the low teens as the Greyhounds win the face-off. Come the other way with it is Stack. Greyhounds, last time they're here, a 12-8 win against the Eagles on February 21st at Lemoyne Field. It was a game that was originally actually scheduled to be on the road, and then they moved it here to post. Because of the cold conditions up in Worcester, Mass, it was slightly warmer down here in Connecticut, and it allowed us to play the game. Coming in with it now is number 35, Jacob Wilson. Another shot and a score. It looks like that was Wilson with it again. The sun's kind of in the eyes of us here in the press box. 12:33 to go. The Greyhounds quickly taking a 2-goal lead. On a goal by Wilson. So far, Johnston and Wilson. That one was unassisted for Wilson. Johnson now has got 6 on the year. Wilson with 6 as well after that. Face off in the middle. It's won again by Assumption, and back the other way with it comes Stack. Stack the Fogo for the Greyhounds for this one. Charlie Foster, the primary Fogo for the Eagles. Last time out against the Yellow Jackets, he was 13 for 19 in the circle. Keegan Swain took 5 and was 3 for 5. McCurry in net again for the Eagles, and that's a shot that I think it was a shot attempt there by number 15, Ben McHugh, that went over the goal. And we're coming up on 12 minutes and counting here in the first. Assumption leading 2-0 early is looking for more, and that's going to be another goal for the Greyhounds. Trying to get a number on that one. It looks like that was Max Lowenberg with the goal. And Assumption now leading 3-0 early on here at Lemoy Field. So the Eagles not getting off to the start they'd hoped to. Don't even believe they have a shot on goal yet. Nope, they don't. 1 ground ball, and 1 for 3 on the faceoff is Foster. Stack in the circle, 2 for 3 with 2 ground balls so far, and 3 goals for Assumption, as it's going to be a timeout called by Pat Iannarelli here with 11:52 remaining in the first quarter. We'll be right back in a moment here on the CACC Network and YouTube. Back here at Lemoy Field as the timeout rolls on here for the Eagles, who trail 3-0 early here at Lemoy Field. Mike Vecchi joining you live for the 2026 home opener for your post-university Eagles men's lacrosse team here on a beautiful day. It feels more like spring compared to what we've been dealing with as of late here in New England. It's mid-40s and sunshine out as it's melted most of the snow in the area on the roads and on the turf, as the facilities crew here at Post did a great job of getting the field ready for today's game. And in the faceoff circle, it's going to be Keegan Swain for the Eagles. It'll be Connor Stack, per usual, for the Greyhounds, who lead 3-0 here. 1 timeout left for the Eagles here in the first. And as we get ready for this faceoff, the Eagles, who are facing off against the Greyhounds up at Assumption, and the women's hockey team is 1 period away from winning Game 1 of the Nuha quarterfinals in the best of 3. Last year as the 7 seed, the Eagles swept Franklin Pierce with a pair of 1-0 wins and are almost there to getting the Game 1 victory here this afternoon against Assumption. Like we mentioned, a lot of Assumption Post games this upcoming weekend. A lot of it's playoff related. Down on the other end with it is McGrath, and a lot of aggressive offensive play so far for the Greyhounds so far. As I apologize, I'm realizing that the entire time that the scoreboard was not on the screen. Now it is 3-0. Shadows starting to creep in on the other side of the field, and that's another shot there taken by McGrath. Goes wide. It looks like it's going to stay here with the Greyhounds. 11:06 remaining in the first quarter. Greyhounds looking to add to their total so far, and it's going to be a turnover, it looks like, there for, nope, Greyhounds are going to retain possession, as that's going to be McKeon who picks it up, and he's battling with somebody over there. That looks like that was John Karras on the defensive end. Eagles are able to recover, and they'll go back the other way with it, looking for a clear attempt. 10.5 minutes to go. Again, in case I can't update the scoreboard every time, we'll keep you updated on the score. No penalties so far either for either team. Turnover there by the Eagles, and it's going to be picked up by Sargent, and back the other way with it come the Greyhounds. Past midfield with it is Sargent, continuing to run, and he's going to take it back out and throw it over to Staunton, the leading goal scorer, who does not have a goal yet today. So far in the faceoff stack with 3 faceoff wins in 4 attempts, and a shot there by Staunton. And just as I say that, Staunton gets on the scoreboard for the Greyhounds, who now lead this one by a score of 4-0 here in the first quarter. This Greyhounds team, like we mentioned, receiving national votes coming into the year. Lost 1 game so far to Mercy at home. It was a close 13-12 battle, but the other 2 teams they faced, Georgian Court, who is a tough opponent within the CACC alone that the Eagles have struggled against. They beat them 17-7 on the 21st, so 6 days ago, and they took care of Dieuville 22-4 to start the year. So Assumption rolling early in this one, as we'll have another face-off between Swain, and it looks like it's going to be Dylan Murphy taking his first face-off of the game for the Greyhounds. 10:09 to go. Face-off coming here, 4-0 Greyhounds, and it's going to be won by Swain, and back onto the offensive end with it are the Eagles. Swain going over to the left side of the field, trying to go towards the goal. In goal today for the Greyhounds, Shane Corcoran, who has not had to face a shot yet. Now might have to face one here from Swain. Looks like it was just wide of the net, and clock will keep rolling here with 9:49 to go. Nope, it's going to stop. Side angle is a little bit tough to see in that far side corner. It's Assumption ball, and there's 9:45 to remain in the first quarter. Over the midline with it is Johnston, and he's going to be stripped of it by John Karras. Karras now coming with it onto the offensive side. John Karras, in his last game against AIC, had 2 caused turnovers and 1 ground ball. Again, the Eagles only have played 1 game up to today so far, and it was a win against AIC in a defensive battle where they only allowed 6 goals. Assumption's already got 4 here in the first. Another turnover there. That's going to be Monders who turns it over, and back the other way with it comes Sargent. Sargent very active on defense so far. As we take a look at his numbers, he's got now 1 ground ball and 1 caused turnover. Don't know if that's updated after that one right there. But now the Greyhounds looking to do something with it. Looks like it went out of bounds, and we'll stop the clock here with 8:57 to go. Back in play with it now. With it is the Greyhounds. Staunton's going to get it across the field, and Sun getting in the way a little bit over there. Mahue, though, falls down, gets back up, and picks it back up and goes over with it to Staunton. Staunton now making a move on the Eagles' defense, spins around, gets around 1, throws it back out to Short. Short now keeping it up top, and it's going to be taken away by an Eagle. Can't quite see who it is, but they're across midfield and on the offensive end. It's going to be Gavin Lee coming in with it, and then he throws it long. Looks like that was a shot just wide of Corcoran in net. So now Leighton Cook, 50-goal scorer last year, with it behind the net. First kind of set that the Eagles have been able to have all afternoon in terms of offense, other than earlier in the game. As up top with it is Gabe Roman, the junior out of Meriden, Connecticut, who transferred in last year. And now Will Bryan with it, another big goal scorer as a freshman who had 20-plus for the Eagle offense. Cook wheeling and dealing around, and now gets it back up top. Over in the corner with it, that's Gabe Roman again. Roman gets pushed out, and Greyhounds defense doing a really good job of keeping the Eagles out of the middle where they can try and get a good shot on Corcoran as they're going to come back out with it. Again, 80-second shot clock down to about 30 seconds now. Monders looks to make a move. He's being pushed out. Monders again takes the shot. Nice save by Corcoran. And the Greyhounds will go the other way with it with 7:39 to go here in the first quarter. Another clear attempt coming for the Greyhounds as we're going to... Thought they were stopping the clock for a minute. Looks like it was a turnover by Assumption, and now back the other way. The Eagles will have another offensive possession here, as that's going to be Keegan Swain up top with it. Swain looks to make a move towards the middle, guarded there by Rantilla. Rantilla is going to make him force a pass over to Cook, who goes behind the net with it. Now back up top, the shot by Will Bryan. It looks like it was saved, and now the ground ball picked up by... Looks like Gabe Roman. Can't quite tell who's got it right now. Nope, it's over here on the near side. That's going to be number 45 for Assumption. I want to make sure we get his name right. They didn't put him in the pronunciation guide. Shrabaz. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. Doesn't look like they put the pronunciation in the pronunciation guide. So do our best we can with that one today. 6:42 to go in the first half. Assumption looking for more, and with it is number 27, Finnegan McKeon. Shoots it just wide. It's going to stay on the offensive end for Assumption with 6:34 remaining in the first quarter. Back with it are the Greyhounds behind the net. Passes it up top to Muchler. And it's going to be turned over and back the other way, rushing with it. That looks to be Gavin Lee with it. Oh, what a layout there by Shrabez. Looks like he did that on Cook. And now the other way with it is the Eagles Assumption, as that's going to be yet another goal for the Greyhounds. I couldn't see in transition quite who it was. I think that was Patrick McGrath, the senior. We'll get an update for you. That was Patrick McGrath, the senior, from Max Lowenberg. And a great offensive play there great defense to offensive play by the Greyhounds. Allows them to now take a 5-0 lead with 6:09 remaining here in the first quarter of this affair. No running clock either. I know with lacrosse for the women's side, if there's a 10-goal lead for one team or the other, the clock will run. However, for men's, it is just straight. The clock will run for the entire time. The clock will stop at every goal and whistle regardless. 5-0 early. The Eagles have to try and figure out something to get some momentum going here. Another face-off won by the Yellow Jackets. That was Swain who lost it. Now a couple passes around and can't quite see who's got it. McHugh's got it. Shot, and another goal for the Greyhounds. That's going to be McHugh with his second point of the game. First goal of the game. He has an assist as well. And all Greyhounds right now is Liam McCurry actually has yet to make a save. It's 6-0 on the goal from McHugh from McGrath with 5:58 to go. Another face-off won by Assumption. That's Stack again. Assumption, a very aggressive first quarter so far, throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the Eagles offensively. With it behind the net is McGrath. He's going to look to get it out over there to Johnston. Johnston up top to Short. Short looking to make a move, gets pushed back out, and behind the net he goes back over to McGrath. McGrath comes around, another goal for the Greyhounds. With 5:27 to go, they take a 7-0 lead here on the Eagles, who are not quite able to get it. It starts in the face-off dot right now for the Greyhounds. Stack has won 5 of 6. Connor Stack. The Greyhounds are 5 for 7 in the face-off dot so far. Eagles just 2 for 7. 1-1 by Charlie Foster, 1-1 by Keegan Swain, and believe that was just a face-off win there for Assumption. Yeah, they've got the ball, and they're coming the other way with it again. On the offensive end, looks like it was Joe Berardi, but now with it over there is Ben McHugh. Getting it back up out top to Jacob Wilson, and it's going to be turned over. Too high of a pass. Cook on a breakaway the other way against Corcoran. Shot, score. That's the goal the Eagles needed, turning defense into offense to stop this 7-0 run that the Greyhounds started the game on. And just like that, the Eagles on the scoreboard with their first goal of the game. It's now 7-1. High pass there, I believe, by McHugh results in a score the other way for Leighton Cook, as it was just nothing but space for them. A big goal for the Eagles, who get one back, but it's all business. Right back into the circle they go, as they have a lot of work to do to climb out of this early 7-0 hole. Violation on the faceoff will give Assumption the ball. It'll give Post the ball. Pointed in the direction, I thought, of the Post side. Eagles with it up top. It's Edward Wesch, the freshman midfielder, up top with it. Dancing his way in. And he's guarded over there by Jack Kelly. Wesch gets it behind the net. And now gets it back. Up top, the Eagles pushing it back out, trying to settle things down a little. Again, you have plenty of time on the clock over the next 3 quarters, but you have to limit the offense that the Greyhounds get. Starts with winning faceoffs, and again, they haven't won many, but there's a big violation that's allowed another offensive possession for the Eagles as Monders gets hammered. That's going to be a flag on Assumption with 4:06 here in the quarter. Let's see what the call is. Jack Kelly is going to get called for a 1-minute slashing penalty. So the Eagles will go on the man-up advantage for 1 minute, unless they score. And this, again, could be a big momentum changer if you're Post, who has struggled offensively so far. Got that big turnover to offense just a few moments ago. Will Bryan with it up top to Ryan DeNike, and Eagles just throwing it around the circle to try and get this Assumption defense offline, and a nice save there by Corcoran on Ryan DeNike's shot. And now Assumption's going to probably try and settle it down, if I had to guess, for the next 30 seconds. Corcoran's holding it right now, being hounded there by Monders, and he's coming way out of the net. And over there to grab it, nope, not going to be able to grab it, is Boomer Staunton. It's going to be a turnover. Eagles going to get the ball back with 3:27 to go and 21 seconds left on the man-up advantage. A big offensive opportunity here for the Eagles as we get to the end of the first quarter, trying to make up some ground here towards the end of the quarter and get themselves back into it. Play resumes with 3:26 remaining and counting. And the offense for the Eagles looking to climb back into this. DeNike with it up top. And then down low, I think that was a shot taken over there by Gabe Roman, went just wide. So we got 4 seconds left on the power play, I guess you could call it. It's back in, and they're going to be released now as the penalty has expired. So the penalty expiring, the Eagles then a turnover right there, it looks like. And back the other way with it comes Tim Bankston. Bankston loses it, and it goes back to DeNike, and the Eagles back on the offensive end. A big turnover there again for the Eagles to grab, as they'll have a chance to get one back here. 2.5 to go. Will Bryan with it. Spins out and gets it back up to Leighton Cook, who has the lone goal so far for the Eagles. Being pushed out now is Swain, and then a wide shot there, trying to see who the number is. I believe that was Leighton Cook, and so the Eagles, I believe, will retain possession. We can't see the far corner from where we are in the press box in terms of both sides of it, unless we move over a little bit. So trying to move along as well as stay in front of the production laptop to make sure that we can update the scoreboard for you. 2:27 remaining here in the first quarter. Eagles on the offensive end, and trying to get something going. It looks like that's going to be a turnover by the Eagles. I think that was DeNike who tried to feed Monders and couldn't do so. So that will go down as a turnover for the Eagles. And back the other way with it comes Assumption, looking to see if they can get one back here after the Cook goal earlier. Eagles looking to make a big stop that can carry their momentum into the second. Coming down the field with it is Staunton. We apologize if we're losing the footage. Times it kind of goes out because of where we're located. Got it back, though, there for a second. Looks like they're going to be 57 seconds on the shot clock. I can't see where the ball is. There was a flag called, it looks like, on somebody for Post. It looks like that was John Karras. Karras gets called for a 30-second slash. And Assumption will go on the man up with 1:54 to go, so a big momentum swing there for the Greyhounds. Play back in, and 1:52 and counting remaining. A nice pass over, and that's going to be another Assumption goal. That one was Ben McHugh with his second of the game, 3rd point overall in the quarter, and it's 8-1. That was a 1-minute penalty, not a 30-second, but it doesn't matter now as he's been released from it because of the goal scored. As Assumption now leads 8-1 with 1:46 remaining here in the first quarter. Back to the face-off dot with it, and it's going to be one there. I think that was Will Bryan who actually took it. Will Bryan taking his first face-off of the game. Foster's 4 for 7 for the Eagles, so Will Bryan getting actually his first face-off of the season, and it's a win, but then it's a turnover by the Eagles on the offensive side of the field, and back the other way with it will come the Greyhounds. Running with it there was Berardi, and then they get it back out, trying to see where it is because the sun is starting to set right into the eye of the press box here. And with no leaves on the trees, it's not going to really go away much anytime soon. Assumption kind of holding right here. McHugh's got it. Passes it down low behind the net to McGrath. And another goal there. I could not see who it was. I looked down for 2 seconds. Yep, that's going to be a goal for Assumption, who now leads 9-1. And with 1:04 to go, another timeout there for the Eagles, and we'll take another timeout here as Post trails by 8 here in the first quarter. 1:04 to go as they've used their final timeout. We'll be back in about a minute or so here on the CACC Network and YouTube. Back here at Lemoy Field, it's 9-1. Assumption leads here in the first quarter. Really not much more to say other than the offense has been all on the left side of the field as the Eagles, Liam McCurry has 1 save so far on 10 total shots taken by the Greyhounds. Shane Corcoran, 3 saves, 1 goal allowed on the Assumption end. Offensively, it's been Ben McHugh, 2 goals, 1 assist, leads the way with 3 points, as well as Patrick McGrath, 2 goals, 4 assists for a total of 6 points so far in this one. But 1:04 remaining, still plenty of time in this game for the Eagles to make a comeback. But you got to start it here on the faceoff dot and finding a way to win this with Charlie Foster. And if I were them, try and waste down the full 1:04 remaining in this, get a good shot off and score to bring some momentum into the second quarter, make it a 9-2 game hopefully. However, it starts in the faceoff dot where the Eagles have struggled so far. But Foster 4 of 7, and well, that was interesting. Their sticks got stuck together, and I don't know how they're going to rule that. I don't know if they're just going to redo it again or not. 59 seconds left as 5 seconds came off the clock. I think they're just going to redo it as the sticks, I've never seen that before, got tangled up in the face-off circle. And while fighting for it, both guys found that their sticks were just stuck together. So they'll do it again. Foster and Stack in the face-off dot. Stack 5 for 7, Foster 4 for 7. 59 seconds left. They let the 5 seconds run off and did a redo here, and it's going to be won by Assumption. Stack with his 6th face-off win of the day. Patrick McGrath, the leading leading person on the team with 6 points so far, has it. And Assumption just looks like they're going to waste down the clock as much as possible here as Duplessis has got it right now, and now McKeon. And that shot's going to go high of the net, but McGrath back there to grab it. The sun is really starting to get into the eyes, into my eyes in here. Shadows appearing behind the net over there for Assumption, so going from dark to light if they're behind the net with it, which McGrath is trying to do right now. McGrath in front, shot, score by McHugh, and another goal for the Greyhounds. Makes it a 10-1 game here with 16 seconds left in the first. So, wow, Assumption putting together an offensive clinic here in the first. 10 goals in the first quarter alone as the Eagles have a lot of work to do to try and get back into this one, as Keegan Swain is going to have 16 seconds to win a faceoff and try and get one back here down the end of the first. Stack 6 for 8 so far. Actually, surprisingly enough, Murphy, who's taken 3, has gone 0 for 3 on the day. But Murphy just gets a face-off win. Excuse me, that wasn't Murphy in the face-off dot. I was just saying the face-off numbers. 7 seconds left. Stack won that one. It's going to be almost a turnover there. And, oh, what a shot deep out there from Patrick McGrath. It's saved by McCurry, and that'll end the first. So at the end of quarter of play, Assumption all over the Eagles right now, 10-1. We'll take a quick break and be back here on the CACC Network and YouTube. Back here on the CACC Network and YouTube, Mike Vesci joining you for the 2026 home opener for your post-University Eagles men's lacrosse team. It was a rough first quarter here from Lemoyne Field. Assumption all over the Eagles early, 10-1. And we'll give you a quick score update, too, on the women's ice hockey side. 16 minutes to go in the third. The Eagles still lead 1-0 on a Georgia Stevens power play goal in the first. Eagles looking to take game one of a 3-game series in the Newha quarterfinals and make it back to their second straight Newha semifinals with a win today and a win potentially tomorrow. As for this game, though, Assumption jumping all over the Eagles. There were 7 different goal scorers in that first quarter alone. It was all led by Patrick McGrath, 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists in total. Ben McHugh, 3 goals, 1 assist for the Greyhounds, 4 points for him. 4 players in 4 multi-point scorers so far for the Greyhounds, who yet again win the face-off. And they are off to the races again with it, as we are underway here in the second quarter. You're going to notice, too, as the sun starts to set, it may be a little more difficult to see on the stream what you're watching, only because the sun is directly in the eye line of the camera, and we're trying our best to figure out how we can make that work. So the offense for the Eagles right now has it, as that's going to be Will Bryan on the right side of the field, where the shadows are also starting to creep in and make it very difficult to see. Keegan Swain now here on the left side. They get it down into the corner, and that looks like that's Gabe Roman with it, back up top to Swain. Eagles just looking to settle things down here early, get a quick goal to try and build on some momentum here as the first half rolls on. Swain slows things down, 57 seconds left on the shot clock. Swain now making a move towards the middle. He's guarded there by Berardi. I believe he's still got it. Right in the right where the sun is. And that's going to be a nice shot there, I think, by Gabe Roman took a shot there, and I believe Corcoran was able to make the save. But the ball comes out to the right side, and looks like the Eagles got it back. All right, so Gabe Roman's got it now, and the Eagles now with it under control up top with Ryan DeNike, who came into the game as the leading point scorer for the Eagles, has not had anything today. There's going to be a flag now on the Greyhounds, I think, and DeNike is coming off the field a little gingerly. I think he might have just gotten slashed on the arm there. Waiting on the flag to be called. Assumption has picked up the ball, and now it should be with 13:43 remaining. It's going to be Trent Sargent with the slash for the Greyhounds. I believe that's a 1-minute slash. Yeah, 1-minute slashing penalty. You may notice if you're watching on the live stats, it shows up as being a 30-second. That's the only option in the computer system. It is a 1-minute penalty, though, as we roll on here in the first half of the game. If you're looking at those stats, though, it says 30 seconds on the screen. Will Bryan with it up top, and now it's over to the left side. Looks like that's going to potentially roll out of bounds. Nope, it's going to be picked up over there by Roman. Roman's going to race back towards the middle with it. Roman shoots it over to the right side. I think that was Cook who could not quite corral it, and it's going to be picked up by... Nope, I think they're calling... Whistle was blown, so it's going to actually stay here with Post. Cook will take it out on the other side. About 22 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Wanders with it, gets it behind the goal, passing it up top to, I believe that was Bryan, and then it's going to be nearly turned over. I can't quite see. The sun is right in the middle of the field. Pass over to the right side, and that's going to be a swim move by Bryan, and then it looks like Corcoran was able to corral it or went out of play. Can't quite tell. Got a timeout from Assumption with 12:37 to go, and we'll take a quick break here. And the penalty expired. Bryan's shot went just wide, and Assumption has taken a timeout. So we'll take a quick timeout here. 10-1 still with 12:37 remaining in the second quarter. Actually, we'll keep it here. We're looking at the women's ice hockey game. It's now tied at 1 as the Greyhounds just scored on the power play with 4:09 into the period. We'll kind of recap what you've seen here so far in the lacrosse game. So Assumption got out to a 10-1 lead in the first. Ben McHugh, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 point. Patrick McGrath, 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points. 1 goal for 5 different players on the Greyhounds, including Boomer Staunton, the leading goal scorer. 4 players with multi-point games so far. And Connor Stack, 8 for 10 in the face-off dot with 7 ground balls. John Karras leads the way defensively for the Eagles with 2 caused turnovers, along with Gavin Lee, who's also got 2, and 3 ground balls for Charlie Foster, paces the defense there. Leighton Cook with the lone goal on a breakaway turnover that he had after a high pass to Staunton, went right into his stick. Eagles on offense, 12:37 to go here in the second, trying to make up some ground here. As the sun continues to come right into our line of sight here on the left side of the field. Swain has it up top, going to the right. We'll get it behind the net. Now, it looks like that's Denike. Nope, that's not Denike. That is Will Bryan with it, and it's going to be turned over by by the Eagles. And back with it will come the Greyhounds looking to clear and add to their 9-goal lead. About 12 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. It's Tim Bankston with it and getting it down low to the left side, to Rantilla. Greyhounds seem to be slowing the pace down, which with a 9-goal lead you can kind of do. You don't need to worry about too much right now. And with an 80-second shot clock, you can kill off about a minute and a half with each of these possessions. And if you get a shot on goal, even more time in this. We're looking at the goal actually right now. Aiden Waller's been inserted for the second period. So Waller now is going to be in net after McCurry only made 2 saves on 12 shot attempts from the Greyhounds in the first. Waller had a few starts last year, and just like that, Assumption's made it a 10-goal game. 11:22 to go. It's another goal for the Greyhounds, this time against Aiden Waller, as we were just going to talk. That's Boomer Staunton with the goal. Waller for the Eagles last year. We'll give you some numbers on him coming into the day. Last year, played in 12 games. 10 of those he started. He gave 112 goals. He averaged giving up about 10.7 per game, 134 saves, a .545 save percentage. He went 7-4 and faced 435 shots across 628 minutes and change. I believe he relieved McCurry in the Malloy game. Yeah, he relieved McCurry in the Malloy game and then ended up playing the rest of the season in net for the Eagles other than some few minutes down the stretch in some blowouts or not so tight games where he was replaced for McCurry and company in net. I believe the Eagles had 4 goalies on the team last year to help out in net. This year they've got a handful. They've got McCurry, Waller, and Zakelli, so they got 3 this year. Eagles ball after the wide shot. It's 11-1, about 10:37 remaining here in the first half. We're in the second quarter right now. And looking at the women's ice hockey game, they're about halfway through the third period in a tied 1-1 game. If that game goes to overtime, it's sudden death, but it's 5-on-5, and there'll be a 15-minute intermission in between. Be sure to catch some of that action, which is on the link on our website when this game goes to halftime. Don't go anywhere, though. The Eagles on offense right now looking to turn momentum back in their favor, and they need to do so in a hurry as this game has gotten a little out of hand so far in terms of the score. 10-goal lead for the Greyhounds, who have scored 11 goals so far in the first half. Only one this quarter so far, so some progress there. Swain, high shot. Corcoran, I believe, made a stop there, and then it goes wide. And Eagles will get the ball back with 9:53 to go. Behind the net with it, the Eagles will come. Some subs coming on for Assumption. We're letting the clock run on the screen just because it was about 20 seconds behind. 9:53 to go as they make the substitutions. Eagles ball. Over there with it is Will Bryan. And they just got James Guiney with the James Guiney with the penalty at 9:52 mark, and Eagles will go on the man up for 1 minute. Big opportunity here to get back in the game, turn momentum back in your favor if you're Post. Behind the net with it, turning it over to the middle. A shot there goes wide by DeNike. The Eagles will retain possession and come the other way with it. 9:30 to go in the first half. Monders with it, gets it up top. Over to Roman. Back down, a shot. Corcoran with the save. Monders' shot goes just wide, and it looks like the Eagles will retain possession with 28 seconds left. Actually, that's going to be wide, so shot clock doesn't reset. 25 seconds left. Eagles with the ball behind the net. That's Will Bryan with it behind the net. Penalty about 20 seconds away from expiring. Again, apologies that the game clock's a little bit off right now. DeNike with it up top. Over to the right side to Cook. Cook back up to DeNike. DeNike over to the left side to Swain. Swain on the wheel, and then the shot goes, looks like it was blocked, so Cook's shot's blocked. The flag was thrown. And play is going to stop here with 8:51 remaining. See what the call is. They're going to get Owen Cruz with the slash. That's going to be a 1-minute penalty for Assumption and the Eagles now. So Assumption's actually taken a few penalties here that, again, have threatened to put momentum back in the Eagles' favor. The problem is they just haven't been able to find the net so far. Against Corcoran, only 5 shots total. Corcoran's made 4 saves. In total for shots, the Eagles 13. Assumption's got 17. So the offense has started to get going shots-wise. The Eagles just not able to get those on net. More shots off target than on target so far for Post. As DeNike's got it up top, the play kind of broke down there for a moment. Eagles on another man-up advantage as the last one had just expired. Looking to see if they can do something here. And that's going to be a shot saved by Corcoran. Oh, man, laid out there. I can't see who that was, but he's slow to get up. Got his helmet knocked off of him with 8:28 remaining. There's going to be a flag called. Hopefully, whoever it is okay. I can't see who it is without the helmet right now. Looks like that's Leighton Cook. Cook did get up, so it looks like he's okay as he's putting his helmet back on, but a flag is called. Let's get the penalty for you here in a moment. So that's going to be James Guiney with the shot to the head. Inadvertent shot to the head, unnecessary roughness. It's a 1-minute locked penalty, which means the Eagles have now a 2-man advantage, and that penalty is not coming off the board. So the one issued to Trent Sargent will come off the board if the Eagles score in the next 37 seconds. The one that was just issued to Guiney for unnecessary roughness, inadvertent contact to the head, is a locked one, which means the Eagles can score as many goals as they want with Guiney locked in the penalty box. So for 1 whole minute, the Eagles will have a man advantage at least. But they're up 2 men right now because of the penalty issue to Sargent. No matter what, Eagles have a golden opportunity here to make some noise down the stretch. So it starts with this one. If they can get one on this first one, Corcoran with a nice save on Monder's shot. The Eagles win the race to the ball, and they'll get it back with 8:12 remaining in the quarter. 20 seconds left on the first power play, or man-up advantage that they have, whatever you want to call it. As up top with it is the Nike. Swain down low, it looks like to Cook, couldn't quite tell, and that's going to be a shot there by Monders. Cameron Monders adds his name to the scoreboard as the Eagles now trail just 11-2, and they did it with Trent Sargent's penalty still on the board. So the Eagles now have a man-up advantage still, a locked man-up advantage for the next 30 seconds. So they can score as many goals as they want in these next 30 seconds without Guiney coming out of the penalty box. So a big opportunity here for Post to get a couple back potentially. 11-2 game and 30 seconds remaining on that penalty. Starts in the faceoff dot, though, where the Eagles have struggled so far, 5 for 14. And they're going to lose another, it looks like. Stack going to win the race to the ball, and the other way with it comes the Greyhounds. 20 seconds left on that man up. And I think Assumption's just going to settle down behind the goal as Corcoran's going to push it up ahead. Too short. And it's going to be turned over, it looks like, and that's going to result in Post getting the ball back. Corcoran going to be issued the turnover there, and the Eagles with 3 seconds left on this man-up advantage, trying to see if they can do something as Cook's got it. And now coming onto the field is Rantilla. We're back to even strength here with 7:20 to go in the first half. Post just getting a goal back on Cameron Monder's man-up goal. Eagles have had 5 man-up opportunities, only converted on 1 of them so far. Now hitting the 7-minute mark here in the first. Again, apologize that we keep losing the signal. I'm working to get it back as the signal on the camera has just gone down again. All right, looks like we got it back. Kind of doing a little bit of everything down here to get the job done today, as didn't miss anything. No one scored. There was a shot attempt by Will Bryan. That was saved by Corcoran, and that was about it. And then Assumption got the ball back and just cleared it with about 6.5 to go. So now we're about under 6 minutes, and it's Assumption ball looking to add to their lead, and that's going to be a save by Waller on the shot by Short, and back the other way with it will come the Eagles with a chance to get one back, and I cannot see who that was. It looks like it was Luke Karras. Shot goes high by somebody. There's a lot to deal with right there for a moment. Wesh has it up top. And there we go. Wesh has it again on the left side. About 5:10 remaining in the second. Now Cook trying to make his way over and gets behind the net. Throws it back in front, and it's going to be saved by Corcoran. And Assumption with a chance to take the lead, take a 10-goal lead now as they're going to get on offense. Eagles defense has done a lot better job this quarter of holding the Assumption offense. It's just 11-2 now. Only one goal scored for Assumption so far in this quarter against Waller, who's got one save, one goal allowed. So only 2 shots he's had to face so far after McCurry was tagged with 12 total shot attempts in the first. Lowenberg rotating it over to McHugh. McHugh gets it back out to Lowenberg. Over to the left side now with it. Can't see the number. That's going to be Wilson, and then brings it back out to McKeon. Shot goes wide of the net, staying with Assumption with 4:06 remaining in the first half. 4-minute mark approaching. And that looked like it was going to be a shot attempt there by Muschler, but it wasn't, and now back out with it is Assumption a few moments later. Taking their time here, 40 seconds on the shot clock and counting, and a lot of motion for him. And Waller, it looks like nearly made the save there. It did look like it glanced off as something from him. He won't win the race to the ball, though. It'll stay on the offensive end for the Greyhounds. 3:30 to go in the first half. And Waller with a nice save there, his second of the quarter. He's got more saves than goals allowed so far now as he saves Muchler's shot there. With 3:20 to go, Eagles will have a chance to get one back here. Again, really good defense so far from Post in this quarter, but you got to be able to get it done on offense now, and the offense really hasn't done too much so far. 19 total shots, 9 of those have gone on net, and Corcoran has saved 7 of them. He's been a rockin' net so far for the Greyhounds as we dip to the 3-minute mark now with Post unable to retain possession on a turnover by William Henley III. And another nice save there, it looks like, by Waller. That was McHugh with the shot. And with 2:52 remaining, it will remain Assumption ball with a 9-goal lead. Defense for Post, only 1 goal allowed, but only 1 goal scored. So it remains a 9-goal game like it was in the first. McHugh with it. Chased out. Over there with it is Staunton, team's leading goal scorer, and he shoots that one wide, it looks like, but I believe the foot race was won by Assumption. It was, and so they'll stay on the offensive end. "26 seconds and counting on the shot clock. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Greyhounds need to get a shot off here as they're down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. And trying to bully his way in was Staunton. And Waller made the save. Ball went out to midfield. I believe they're going to reset the shot clock, though, because that did go off of Waller. Waller now with 4 saves in this quarter alone. 800 save percentage so far. As we dip down to a minute and a half here in the first half. Greyhounds with another offensive possession here. A shot save there on Lowenberg. Waller, big save there. Gives the Eagles a little bit of a run out here with a minute and a half left. They can pretty much waste down the rest of the shot clock, the game clock, to end this quarter. See what they decide to do here. The goal, take momentum into halftime if you're Post, and the way to do that, take as much time off the clock so you don't give Assumption a chance to steal back momentum should they score quickly, and then Greyhounds come right back with one. Eagles with the ball. We've now dipped officially under a minute in the first half in this 11-2 game. A much tighter affair here in the second, but that first quarter right now looming large in terms of being the difference maker. We'll see how the Eagles adjust with head coach Pat Iannarelli at halftime as Cook's shot goes wide with 34 seconds left. The clock stops. And now we'll take it under 30. Eagles with the ball and 10 seconds on the shot clock. They got to get a shot off now, but might be able to get out of this quarter unharmed in terms of the offensive end. Cook has his helmet locked off again, the second time this quarter alone. 19 seconds on the game clock as I think they're going to stop play here for a moment. And it's going to be Assumption ball. Assumption in the first quarter this year, 7 goals in their last game against Georgian Court, only 3 against Mercy and 2 against DUville before they turned it on against the Saints in that 22-4 victory. So the first quarter, the last 2 games now for them have been big quarters in terms of the offense to get them out and running and have helped them kind of hold on to these big victories. I mean, that's going to be another shot Waller, I believe, just was able to save it on the shot from short. 1.1 seconds left here in the first half. I don't think that's going to be enough time to get a shot off. Oh, maybe if they get in front. Waller's able to steal and just chuck it the other way. And we'll head into the halftime break with Assumption leading 11-2. 1 goal scored from each side in that set of 15 minutes. But that big first quarter by the Greyhounds has them in front by 9. Take you to a 15-minute halftime. Nope, 10-minute halftime break, not 15. 15 is for soccer. We'll be back in about 9 minutes, that means, with the second half of this one as the Eagles will try to climb out of what's a early 9-goal hole here in their 2026 home opener at Lemoy Field. Stay tuned. More lacrosse coming here on the CACC Network and YouTube. 11-2 your score as we get ready for the third quarter of the second half overall. Mike Vesey joining you live here for the 2026 home opener for your Post University Eagles. It's got off to a rough start for the Eagles. There's no other way to put it. It was 11-2 at half, but it was 10-1 after the first quarter. All assumption in this one so far, as we've mentioned. Ben McHugh, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Patrick McGrath, 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points. Those two were held in check in the second, but so was the Eagle offense. I mean, when you look at it, Cameron Monders has the other goal besides Leighton Cooks off of the turnover here as we start the second half of play. Again, all starts in the faceoff dot, which we've talked about. 5 for 15 so far are the Eagles. Charlie Foster, 4 for 10. But Connor Stack, I mean, when he's in the faceoff dot, it's hard to beat him. 10 wins on 12 attempts, 9 ground balls as we get underway here in the second half. The second quarter, on the other hand, was a 1-1 tie. 1 goal each from each side, and that's why with Aiden Waller in that as well, I should mention, for the Eagles, made 5 saves on 6 total attempts for an .833 save percentage. And hey, look at that. To start the second half, a big face-off win for the Eagles. And that's the way you got to start things. But then they turned it over. So a promising start off with the face-off. Unfortunately, you have the turnover there, as back the other way with it will come the Greyhounds. And as we get started with the third quarter here, giving you a quick score update for the women's ice hockey team. They are about to start overtime at Assumption, 1-1, as a late power play goal by the Greyhounds tied it up at 1 after Georgia Stevens' shot in the first period gave the Eagles a 1-0 lead. But now we're heading to overtime there, and here we're heading to the offensive end for Assumption, as that one's fired on net there by McHugh. It's blocked down, and the Greyhounds will retain possession here to start the second half off the turnover, and a big score there. And momentum killer if you're the Eagles. Boomer Staunton gets his second of the game, 12-2 now with exactly 14 on the clock. After the Eagles win the faceoff, it just didn't work out in terms of being able to go on offense. The turnover right off the bat kind of hampered them there. So it's a 12-2 game, 1 minute into the second, as Boomer Staunton's now got his second goal. Excuse me, I believe actually that might be his third. Once the stats update, let you know momentarily, as they're still waiting to update here. So Waller allows a goal right to start the second half, and off to the races with it again is Assumption. Greyhounds pick it up, and going with it the other way is Stack. So another face-off win for Stack. I believe that makes him 11 of 13. 11 of 14, excuse me. As we wind things down to the 13.5-minute mark here. Again, we appreciate you joining us live here on the CACC Network and YouTube. The game today closed to fans, but field looking clear. The stands, unfortunately, though, covered in snow, which you can kind of see on the stream, as the snow came in this past week and dropped about 16 inches of snow across the state, which has resulted in the field needing to be cleared somehow, and that's where the snow all goes. Assumption with the ball yet again the other way. And it's going to go behind the net, another turnover for the Greyhounds. Waller's got it now, and the other way, Eagles will look to clear. Now a 12-2 game, under 13 to go. It looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with the stats getting updated, so we'll try and give you the best we can throughout. It looks like they might have just run into a couple of issues here. Nope, we're caught up now, and that's going to be that was, in fact, Staunton's second of the game. It's 12-2, and Stack is, in fact, 11 for 14 on faceoffs with 10 ground balls. The Eagles' leading ground ball person right now is Gavin Lee with 4. In the caused turnovers category, Lee also leading the way defensively with 3 caused turnovers, but unfortunately the defense for the Eagles in that first quarter kind of faltered, and that's why they're where they are right now at a 12-2 game. Post still with it with 12:20 to go, looking to get one back here and start a little bit of a run that they need, as Staunton got the early goal to help the Greyhounds regain that 10-goal advantage. Eagles offense working slow and methodically here. Getting it back up top. That shot looks like it was blocked down by somebody in front. Nope, actually, I believe it did reach Corcoran. It looked like Trent Sargent might have gotten something on it on Will Bryan's shot. But it'll go back the other way with the Greyhounds. Sun is now set over the trees for the most part, which has made the field a lot easier to see it from my vantage point and a lot easier for you at home to view on the stream. As you're taking a look at a high-top camera that we have now here with the new press box here at Lemoy Field that's keeping us all warm inside, although it's been a pretty warm day in general. It allows us to have a better vantage point for you guys to be able to view the game compared to previous years. And got a turnover there from Assumption on the offensive end. Will lead to the Eagles having the ball here with, again, another chance to try and climb themselves back into this. Only 2 goals so far, one from Cook, one from Monders. Monders also has an assist, so he's got a 2-point day. Will Bryan with the other assist for 1 total point. Eagles with 9 shots on goal against Corcoran, who's made 7 saves on 9 attempts, 2 goals allowed. Aiden Waller came in for Liam McCurry after the first. He's got 5 saves, 2 goals allowed. McCurry finished with 2 saves, 10 goals allowed. Eagles now trying to work their way back into it. We're about 10 minutes remaining already in this third quarter as we're moving right along here in this one. About just after 5 o'clock here on the Eastern Standard Time, as that's going to be a big goal for the Eagles. That's going to be Will Bryan with his first of the game, and just like that, Post responds to Staunton's goal and makes it a 9-goal game. So the Eagles have some work to do, but chipping away now. That's what you got to do. It's 1 goal at a time, 1 possession at a time, 1 face-off win at a time. We saw them get off to the start that they did in the third quarter with that face-off win, but unfortunately a turnover right after that kind of negated it. And they get another face-off win there. It's going to be Foster beating Stackford, who's now 11-4-15 on the day. Post in the defensive side of the field will look to bring it across and get the offense going again. We have a 12-3 game here at Post in the 2026 home opener. Lemoy Field originally scheduled for Wednesday, moved to Friday because of the snow cleanup. Bryan's got it. Just scored that first goal of the afternoon, as we are under 10 officially now in the third. Seems like the slower pace has also helped the Eagles kind of set things up and find the spots they want to get to against this Assumption team. But the big thing is the Eagles pretty much these last 2 quarters, as of right now, have either tied or led Assumption at one point or another. But that first quarter is really looming large in terms of being the difference maker in the affair. Monders has it. He gets it down low to Bryan. Bryan's going to carry it back out and take his time with it. Only 10 seconds left on the shot clock, though, and he's got a long way to go from the net, and he's going to try and make a move on somebody. But now we're down to 5 seconds, and now Bryan's just got to take a shot. He's able to get around it, and they're going to call a penalty, or they're going to call a whistle on that's going to result in a turnover. So it's going to be Assumption's ball anyways, regardless of the shot clock violation that was impending with 9:10 to go. It's going to go back to the Greyhounds. 1 goal each so far for both teams in the third quarter. It's 12-3 Assumption, who have used that 10-goal first quarter to kind of take control of this one so far. Clear attempt is good. The Assumption Greyhounds now on the offensive end. Taking a look here, too, as well at the women's ice hockey game. About 15 and a half minutes remaining in overtime. Still tied at 1. Sudden death. First goal wins it. Both teams battling back and forth in Game 1 of the New Hawk quarterfinals that got underway at 3 o'clock today. Meanwhile, the offense for the Greyhounds looking to score something here on the offensive end. And it's going to be a nice score there from Ben McHugh again. So McHugh, after having a quiet second, starting to get things rolling again. McHugh now with his 4th of the game. He's got 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Doesn't have the team lead, actually, in points. That still goes to McGrath, who I believe just got an assist on that one. And as a result, McGrath has 5 assists. He's got 8 total points, leading the way offensively. It's been McGrath and McHugh so far for the Greyhounds on offense, as Post Gonna win another face-off, it looks like. Nope, they're gonna call a false start, it looks like, on post. So the Greyhounds gonna get possession here off the false start on the face-off. I believe that's what the call was. I couldn't quite tell from up here. As there's 8:20 remaining. Nope, actually it's post ball. I saw Assumption holding it for a moment, and it looked like they were going back on defense. So false start on Assumption, and it's going to be post ball. Chance to get that goal back that was just scored by McHugh. Excuse me. And that might just be a turnover instead. Nope, it gets just before the midline, and it's picked up over there by Grippo. Andrew Grippo, the freshman attack from Putnam Valley, New York, seeing some playing time here. Post moving towards the net with it now, rolling around to try and get something going is Chase Thondel. Thondel being hounded over there by the Greyhound defense. Excuse me, Thondel. Looks like that's Cook over there. Nope, I'm sorry, that's Aiden Connell. And Corcoran with another save is going to stay with post, it looks like. Yep, staying with post here with 7 minutes remaining, and a shot in. Corcoran, nice save. Maunders with the shot attempt there, and it's gobbled up by Corcoran. He has been really good in net so far. I believe that's save number 9 on the day. He's been standing up to the challenge that the Eagles have given him in terms of trying to figure out a way to get some offense going. Only 1 goal per period so far for post as we're at the 6:55 mark of the third. A really quick moving third. A lot of penalties in that second, I think, slowed it down a little more than usual as we continue on here in the second half. Staunton with it behind the net, looking to make a move, and he shoots, and Waller, I think, might have gotten a piece of it, but over there to grab it is McGrath. So play will continue on the offensive end for the Greyhounds. McGrath looks to make a move, can't do so. Gets it out to the top over to Short. This Assumption team just continuing to control the offensive pace, even if the scoring hasn't been the same as it was in the first. They've really controlled things on the offensive end in terms of just kind of holding it wherever they need. A flag's going to be called. Nice save there on the shot by McGrath by Waller, but that's going to be a penalty, and we'll get the call for you momentarily here as the Eagles will be heading to penalty box. It's going to be a slashing penalty on number 13, Gavin Lee, for the Eagles. It will be a 1-minute penalty, releasable on a score. So if Assumption's able to get a goal here, you'll see them come out of the penalty box. But for now, a 10-goal game, and Assumption looking for more with the man advantage. Play resumes. The Greyhounds with it up top. Wheeling and dealing around the circle they are, and now it looks like McHugh got it taken away by, that's number 3, Luke Karras on the defensive end. Karras having a good day on the offense. The Karras brothers actually having a decent day. That was the first, I believe, caused turnover that's going to go down as for Luke. His brother with 2 caused turnovers so far, and then Assumption, I believe, just forced another turnover after they brought it all the way down. Wait to see. It looks like a timeout was called, so we'll take a quick break here. Actually, we'll update you on some of the stats and things going on. 29 seconds left on the power play for the Greyhounds, man-up advantage as the proper term. For the Eagles, 5 of 11, Charlie Foster in the face-off dot, 4 ground balls, which ties for the team lead with Gavin Lee. 3 caused turnovers for Gavin Lee as well, leads the way. Defensively for Assumption, 3 caused turnovers each for Declan Turner as well as Tim Bankston lead the way for them. 10 ground balls lead the Assumption defense as well, as Connor Stack has 10. We're also keeping an eye on women's ice hockey right now. These are actually not even updated. I apologize. We're refreshing the page right here. Not much has changed, actually, in terms of the numbers I just read to you, though. Aiden Waller still with 5 saves. Shane Corcoran with 7. We are taking a look at the women's ice hockey game, which has approached the 10-minute mark of overtime. Again, that's 5-on-5, not 10-on-10. Hannah Saunders actually just made a diving stop that saved the game. That puck looked like it was about on the line, and Saunders in the defense just made a spectacular save with 10:49 to go as they play on up there in Worcester in Game 1 of the quarterfinals, where the Eagles had an early 1-0 lead on Georgia Stevens' goal, and then Assumption got one back on the power play in the third. So 10:49 to go there. They're in the offense. The Greyhounds are on the offensive end, taking the face-off after Saunders just saved Game 1 with a diving stop there. We're back in play here as the Eagles will probably just try and kill off this penalty for the last 30 seconds. Again, with an 80-second shot clock, you can get 50 seconds, still about 50 to 40 seconds on that shot clock once all is set and done. 10-goal game. The Eagles need to get the offense going now. Running out of time now after the post offense, but still there is time, but you've got to force some turnovers and start getting some shots to get by Corcoran, who's been a rock solid in net so far on the day. 10 goals so far for the Greyhounds in the first quarter. Since then, only 3. So the Eagles' defense, some things to pride themselves on so far. If you zoom out and don't look at that first quarter, doing a much better job maintaining the Assumption offense in terms of their defense is Cook. Cooking up a big goal there. Makes it a 9-goal game for the Eagles with 4:45 remaining in the third. And Post, again, needs that run to get going. That's Cook's second of the game. See if they award any assists on that one in a moment here. The stats kind of refreshed and reverted back to what they were previously. Big face-off coming here for the Eagles after another big goal for Cook. Won by Stack, not the school, the player, Connor Stack. As we approach the 4:30 mark and the Greyhounds back on offense again, Patrick McGrath, like we've mentioned, 7 goals so far, 8 points to lead the way. I was looking at shot totals. And looking for another goal there is the offense. That was number 27, Finnegan McKeon. We haven't called his name in a while, the freshman out of Westford, Mass. Is Waller with another great save. He's been rock solid in net as well since he's had to come in. 3 goals allowed. Again, when you come off the bench like that, you're almost coming in kind of cold, which we saw him actually taking some shots at halftime with the coaching staff to kind of warm himself up more, because you really don't get too much warm-up time. Well, you don't get any warm-up time, but you can warm up on the sideline a little bit, but to face real in-game shots is a different story. So Walter was getting warmed up at half, but a tremendous second quarter for him. Only 1 goal allowed, considering he came in cold. And we're not just talking about the temperature outside. As it's starting to drop a little below the 40-degree mark it was. We're probably in the mid-30s right about now. It says 39 on my screen here as the sun starts to set on Lemoy Field. And this game starts to set towards its end. And behind the back goal there from no other than Cameron Monders. What a beauty. Hey, last year Leighton Cook did the same exact thing and got on SportsCenter's top 10 plays. We'll have to see if we can get him on there again. As Cameron Monders with a beauty there makes it an 8-goal game, the closest that Eagles have been all day since that first quarter run. Cameron Monders with a beauty there behind the back. Back in the faceoff dot are the Eagles, and as we're looking at a women's ice hockey game, Post is about to go on a power play. That's a big thing to do with 8:27 left in overtime, as both goalies getting a much-needed break in that game. I mean, they got to play again tomorrow night, folks, in Game 2 if you're going to tune into that. Assumption with the ball on the offensive side of the field. Cameron Monders with a beautiful top 10 play looking goal there to help get the Eagles back within 8. Doesn't sound like a close game, but, you know, the Eagles, again, have played a much closer game than they did early on in this one, as that 10-goal first really kind of set the tone for Assumption, but Monders looking to flip the script there with that beauty of a goal just moments ago. Starts with a stop here. Greyhounds, I believe, just got a turnover. Yep, turnover called, and it's going to go the other way. Post ball with 2:40 to go in a 8-goal game. If the Eagles can get this down to 6 or 7, they'll have a pretty good shot going into the fourth to make a move here. If you get a goal here with the shot clock still being an 80-second shot clock, maybe you go 2 for 1 to end the third and, again, make it that 6-goal game. Starts right now, though. This possession and every possession after this matter the most. Can Post get back within 7 goals here as we wind things down here in the third quarter? 2 minutes to go and change. 13-5. Both teams have scored, well, actually, no, I apologize. The Eagles have scored 2 goals this quarter. 3 goals this quarter, excuse me. Outscoring assumption 3-2 in this quarter. It was 1-1 in the second and 10-1 in the first. Cook cooks up another. That's a hat trick for Leighton Cook and a big one. The Eagles now within 7 with 1:48 remaining, and they'll have a shot to go 2 for 1 here. So Leighton Cook has started a little bit of a run for the Eagles as Cameron Maunders got one, Cook's got a couple, and Post now continuing to roll. I apologize. I believe actually that's only Cook's second. That is Cook's second of the game. Not quite. Oh, no, that is Cook's third. I apologize. The stats keep refreshing and going back and forth sometimes. There's something wrong with the internet that's causing that. So that was Leighton Cook's third goal, a hat trick for him so far. 6 goals now for Post, who now has a chance to get within 6 goals. Winding down, however, the Greyhounds did get possession, and as a result, the Eagles will have to try and force a turnover and see if they can make something happen here down the stretch. But a very good third quarter. They're finally starting to figure out Shane Corcoran, hopefully not too late. There's still going to be 15 minutes in the fourth for them to continue this comeback. It would be an epic comeback if they could do it, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Greyhounds don't have to rush things here. Again, in a 7-goal game and a chance to just kind of end it, and end this quarter, I should say, as that was a shot taken wide by Patrick Johnston. 1:06 remaining. Assumption retains possession. Power play for the Eagles in the women's ice hockey game has expired. No goal scored there. 6:27 remaining in the overtime. They might be headed for a double overtime. That would be something impressive. It would be the first time in program history we see that for the Eagles. Right now, though, we're focused on this game here at Lemoyne. 50 seconds left, and it's Patrick McGrath with the ball, the leading point scorer for Assumption today. Takes a shot that's blocked by the Eagle defense. Time winding down, 40 seconds left, but a fresh shot clock. Greyhounds can just hold here for last shot if they want to. They don't look like they want to do that. They want to take this momentum back before the end of the quarter. And McGrath has it behind the net, trying to do so. Shot goes high on Waller. 26 seconds left, 25, 24 as we keep winding down. Thought that ball went out of play. It did not. And a shot, and I believe that was, that made it into the back of the net. So that's going to be Brian Short's goal. That's going to turn momentum a little bit back in Assumption's favor here with 19 seconds left in the third. Keegan Swain to take the faceoff against Connor Stack. Stack 14 for 19 on the day, 12 ground balls got so far. A lot of those ground balls come off the faceoff wins. He's been really good at being able to just kind of take possession right when that ball is on the turf. And he'll try and do so again here and make it his 13th ground ball. Stack going to win another, and he's got the ground ball. Nope, it's going to be picked up by somebody else actually on the Greyhounds as he quickly had it, and it was stripped loose. Grabbing that one and going the other way with it is Joey Berardi. 7 seconds. Can the Greyhounds get one last shot here? Oh, a nice takedown there by the Eagle defense against Jack Kelly, and that's going to allow time to expire on the third. 14-6. 15 minutes to go in this one from Lemoyne Field. The Eagles trailing by 8. Do they have a comeback in their bones? We'll find out next on the CACC Network and YouTube. Back here at Lemoyne, 15 minutes to go in this one. Your Eagles trailing by 8, but they had a much better third quarter than they did even first or second quarter combined. That was probably one of the best quarters we've seen from the Eagles this afternoon in their 2026 home opener, but they got work to do. They trail by 8 here with 15 minutes to go, and it's going to be a tall task for this Eagles team to take down this Greyhounds squad that has been receiving national votes for their 2-1 start to the year. We were just looking back at Karen Maunder's behind-the-back goal, a beautiful one that we're clipping together to get submitted to SportsCenter to see if they can get that one on top 10 tonight. Leighton Cook did that one last year. I believe it took 5th, actually, on the charts for that one. Eagles on the offense here, and that's going to be a turnover by them as that goes out of play with 14 minutes and change to go here in the fourth quarter. So Assumption right back onto the offensive end for them. And we're, again, keeping you updated on the Nuha tournament playoffs. The quarterfinals going on right now. Post University women's ice hockey taking on Assumption up at Worcester. It is tied at 1 with 4 minutes to go in the first overtime. It's golden goal, but no one scored. So we might be looking at a double overtime situation up in Worcester for your Eagles there, who play game 2 tomorrow night. Men's ice hockey, actually they play it at 4:10 tomorrow, I believe. Men's ice hockey is up at Assumption for their NE10 semifinals, single game, single elimination matchup against the Greyhounds at 7:30. Baseball on the road down in North Carolina taking on Cedarville University in a 4-game series. They'll be the away team in all 4 of those games. They have a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 1. Catch the live stats, hopefully being inputted by us starting at 1 from here in Waterbury. If you're interested in watching baseball. And then basketballs finish out the regular season against Georgian Court on the road at 1 and 3. The Eagles still looking to get some seeding squared away as the women's basketball team actually has a chance to finish 5th after starting the year 1 and 7 overall. Men's basketball will finish, I believe it's either 5th or 6th, based on current tiebreakers. So a lot of action tomorrow for Saturday. Flag football was going to kick off their inaugural game of their debut, but unfortunately due to snow removal down at Holy Family, both those games have been canceled. So you'll get to see them actually in their 2026 debut. Their inaugural season and inaugural game will start here at Lemoyne Field next weekend against Wagner at 11 a.m. on Sunday. So that's something to look forward to, as after today, no home games for Post Athletics until next Friday, which will be softball's home opener against Southern Connecticut State University here at Lemoyne Field, starting at 1 and 3 for those 2 games. And then on Saturday, men's lacrosse back at home against Georgian Court. And then Sunday, we'll bring you Wagner versus Post flag football. So a hefty weekend of games, but the crew's going to, after today, get about a week off from home games, which will be much needed after the stretch everybody just went through with home games. Playoffs for men's hockey and all the other games that we had in recent weeks for basketball and the hockey's playing at home, finishing out their regular seasons and having their senior day ceremonies and whatnot down the stretch. As Assumption's just won the game in overtime with about 2 minutes to go. So women's ice hockey will have to stave off elimination tomorrow afternoon as they fall 2-1 in that one on the road to Assumption after leading 1-0 early. So that goes final there on the road. Tough break for Post after leading early in that one. As we're about 11 and a half minutes to go here in this one. Not much happening here in the first 3.5 minutes of the fourth. A couple shots for each side, but Greyhounds still in control 14-6 with 11 and a half remaining as Eagles force yet another turnover. It's just they haven't really been able to find the back of the net as frequently as they would probably like to. 14 goals in their opener against the AIC Yellow Jackets, but and only 6 goals allowed. I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, they've only allowed 4 goals in the last 3 quarters, but that one first period has really kind of set the tone for this entire afternoon, unfortunately. But the Eagles, again, have played a lot better in these last 3 quarters. And look, when you're looking at this game from the outside perspective, there's good things to build off of. The first quarter might not have been your best quarter if you're the Eagles, but your last 3 quarters offensively have improved and defensively have improved, which bodes well, especially against a team that is really good like this Assumption team is. That's something you like to see. You're still being competitive to an extent in this one, which we actually heard head coach Pat Iannarelli saying yesterday that he was hoping that this team would be able to compete against them and that he'd be happy with them being able to compete. And obviously, you want to go for that win. That's what you're going for every time you come out here. But this isn't a tough Assumption team that, you're going to have to battle against to try and find it. We saw it. The offense came out flying for this Greyhounds team right off the bat, and it's been led by McGrath and McHugh all afternoon, and we're seeing that again here this afternoon as the game has rolled on. But, again, nothing to hang your heads about if you're the Eagles because you're seeing improvement. You want to come out on top with the win, but, if today's not your day to do it, on the bright side, you are able to at least come away with some positive takeaways over these last 3 quarters. Again, no scoring so far here in the fourth quarter. Just a couple shots that have been saved by both Waller and Corcoran, who really, this is a matchup that's been good. And as I say that, of course, somebody does score. Announcer's jinx right there as Boomer Staunton gets his third of the game. A hat trick for Staunton, team's leading scorer coming in today. Allows the Yellow Jackets, we were just talking about AIC, allows Assumption to retake that 9-goal lead. So they are now up 15-6 with about 9.5 minutes remaining here in regulation. Again, we've just mentioned all the action coming in tomorrow for your Eagles. Lots to look forward to if you're a post fan of any of the teams. Again, they're all on the road, which will be nice to give everybody a little bit of a break here on campus for all the hard work they did getting ready for this game today. But plenty of action to take all in tomorrow and recap online and on social media. If you're not following, go follow at GoPostEagles on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. We're streaming live on YouTube right now, up almost near 2,000 subscribers now. So if you haven't followed us on YouTube yet, head on over to the YouTube channel. You can catch post-game interviews, media day coverage, and the whole 9 yards on there. Kind of the extra content that we can't deliver to you live on the air. You can catch on there anytime. That's the one hub for all things post-athletic video-wise, and then you can catch some stuff on our on our Instagram page, some recap videos and stuff like that when the teams come out on top. 9 minutes to go in this one. Post trailing by 9. Biggest goal of the game, the big electric one we had so far was Cameron Maunders in the third, a behind-the-back goal off of Corcoran, which kind of started a little bit of a run for the Eagles. Leighton Cook's got a hat trick so far in this one, but post offense just hasn't been able to string it together consistently for 4 quarters, which was the struggle today because of the 10-goal first by the Assumption offense, but they've started to piece it together as things have gone on, as we've mentioned. So that's a positive takeaway here as that ball's loose on the ground, and another pickup by Assumption as they'll come the other way with it. Time winding down here on this one as the lights are on at Lemoy Field. New lights that came in this year for these late evening games to be able to be played, fortunately for us, and we're seeing that right now as we play on here and the sun starts to set with being about 5:30 here. This game will finish off just before 6 o'clock, it looks like, just in time for anybody who's got Friday night dinner plans in the area. Flag was called. So we got an unnecessary roughness call on Will Bryant. I believe that's the first penalty for either side since the second quarter when the Eagles had, I believe, 4 man-up attempts from that quarter alone. So the Eagles now have to play a man down, and it really didn't take too long for that one to come back to bite them. That was scored right away by the Assumption offense. By the time I was able to look and see that the play had restarted, the ball was in the back of the net. That's Patrick McGrath with his team leading 4th of the game. He's got 9 points, 1 away from double digits, and the 10-goal lead is back for the Greyhounds now, who are looking like it's going to be their game. It's going to be tough to overcome a 10-goal deficit with the amount of time remaining on the clock, unfortunately, for post, but again, a valiant effort nonetheless, especially in that third quarter, to try and turn the tides in this one. They got within 7. That was the closest they would get since the first, unfortunately. And now Assumption's entered back with 3 goals to start this quarter. So Assumption looks like they're going to take this one handily and move to 3-1. Post will drop their first game of the year at home. They've got a tough home schedule. We were actually looking at this at halftime. The Post home schedule as another goal is scored there by the Greyhounds. We were looking at the Post schedule at home this year, and they've got some tough opponents this year at home. I mean, I know you've got your conference games. This is a tough conference to play in at times, folks, in terms of the equality of opponents. Georgian Court's one of those that the Eagles haven't beaten in a while, as well as Wilmington. Those two teams come to town on the 7th and 14th before the Eagles take a long extended 5-game road trip before taking on Holy Family, a third-year program, Dieuville, who's out of conference, and Chestnut Hill, which has been a bunch of close defensive battles in recent years. So the Eagles have a lot of tough games coming up this year on the conference slate compared to last year in terms of where their conference opponents are at currently in terms of where their program has progressed to and whatnot. Holy Family even has progressed in only 3 years to a monumental point from where they started, as they were picked to actually finish tied with the Eagles for 5th in the CACC tournament. CACC standings. So that's where all these teams kind of sit that the Eagles are going to be playing. Dieuville, like we mentioned, played Assumption, lost 22-4. So they'll have some games that are going to be really competitive and fun to watch throughout this entire spring here on the men's lacrosse side. Of course, we always have the women's lacrosse team that will be starting soon, as that's another goal scored by the Greyhounds. This one's Cole Rogers with his first of the day with 6:57 to go, and now making it a 12-goal game. I think we're going to get a timeout call. We will. We're going to take a quick break here on the CACC Network and YouTube. 18-6. Assumption in front. .657 here in the game. Assumption is going to likely take this one, as it's 18-6 now. Post not really able to piece much together in the fourth. We were just talking at the start of the fourth about how the offense had started to find a rhythm against Shane Corcoran, but on top of that, they had built something really strong over the last 2 quarters. And this quarter has kind of been the opposite of what we saw the last two. It kind of has reverted back to what we saw in the first quarter when Assumption scored 10 goals. As it stands, Patrick McGrath now has 10 points on the day. McHugh with 6 points. And for the Eagles, it's been Leighton Cook with 3 goals and Cameron Waters with 2, as well as 1 from Will Bryan. And we appreciate everybody joining us live right now. We see we got about 40, 50 people watching us live on YouTube, and probably about 50 to 100 more on the CACC network. So we appreciate you joining us today. Little spontaneous last-second game here that was originally postponed on Wednesday, and then it looked like they would potentially be playing it on the road, but then more snow, believe it or not, brought things back here to Lemoyne for today. We found out about 24 hours ago, a little over 24 hours ago at this point, that we were going to be playing today at 4 o'clock. And we appreciate everybody on the staff being able to make this possible, from the facilities crew to the game ops crew, the communications crew, able to pull everybody together to have enough people to even facilitate the running of this game efficiently. That's why you've got me on the call today, as unfortunately for some, as we were looking for play-by-play people today and unfortunately couldn't find anybody at the last minute due to the scheduling. And we're able to piece things together, as Will Bryan was just able to piece together that goal for the Post offense, who gets one back here 18-7 now with about 5.5 minutes remaining here in the game. So a 7-goal game now for Assumption. Excuse me, 7 goals on the board for the Post. Assumption leads by 11. Sun has set over the trees officially, and it's actually made for a much better second half in terms of being able to see what's going on in the field, but also viewing at home. If you were joining us in the first half, it was very hard to see due to the sun getting in the way of the camera, just the angle and everything. The Eagles have the ball right off the face-off. Charlie Foster, though, their whistle was called, and they're going to give it to Assumption. So Assumption with it, 5.5 to go, and great day from Shane Corcoran in net. 13 saves, 7 goals allowed, 20 total shots from the Eagles, and on the other side, 28 shots on goal for Assumption, 10 total saves. Aiden Waller has a 500 save percentage, 8 saves, 8 goals against. He was brought in for Liam McCurry, who played the first, allowed 10 goals, and only had 2 saves. .455 to go in the game. Assumption up by 11. And has the ball. That shot wide for the Greyhounds. That was Thomas Smith, the sophomore attacker. I believe now we're starting to see some of the second string players get in for Assumption. As time is winding down here. Eagles with a much shorter bench in turn. I believe if we looked correctly, Assumption's got about 45 players on their roster, whereas Post has, I believe, around 30. So for Post, I'm pretty sure they've seen just about, I'm looking on the sideline actually, there's only one person not dressed. So pretty much everybody has gotten into this one, it would seem like, for the Eagles. We have a couple people tracking participation stuff. That one sounded like it went off of the Post, and with 3:50 to go, Eagles will retain possession on the offensive end. Looking to build some momentum. You know, that's the thing at this point that you got to try and do. Can you build momentum going into your next game, which I believe is not for another week now. I believe no, I apologize. It's not next week. It is, it is next week, but it's midweek. They will go on the road, the Eagles, to take on Franklin Pierce on Wednesday at 4 o'clock p.m. As for the Greyhounds, taking a look at their upcoming schedule, they will leave Lemoy Field with a win, and then they'll go take on Roberts Wesleyan on Sunday at noon before getting a week off, or 6 days off before going down to Virginia to take on Virginia State. They'll have a NE10 matchup against number 13. The NE10 is very tough in terms of lacrosse. 5 teams right now ranked or receiving votes. So NE10 lacrosse really is something to watch in terms of that. CACC very competitive as well. I don't think at the moment the CACC has any nationally ranked teams or ones receiving votes, but don't quote me on that, as the new rankings just came out, I believe, earlier this week. 18-8 game here with 3:14 remaining in regulation. Cook just scored moments ago, his 4th of the season. fourth of the game. And it's a 10-goal game, pretty much right back where we've been most of the time. So Eagles outscored Assumption 4-3 in the third. They've been outscored 4-2 in this one, but they've gotten the last 2 goals back. It was a very quiet second for both sides, 1-1. And again, our next home game from Lemoy Field for men's lacrosse will be next Saturday, I believe at noon, against Georgian Court. So Guy Borden in the Assumption staff, Borden in his 6th year, they'll pick up their 3rd win of the season. The Eagles in the all-time series will drop to 0-8 against the Greyhounds with 2:17 and counting remaining. And Greyhounds with the ball looking to add to their total this quarter, as that shot is, I believe, Waller might have gotten a piece of it. The hardest part about looking at the goals is, or the shots is, it's really kind of difficult to see the ball. So you can't 100% tell if the goalie got a piece of it. The refs can, obviously, down there. Shot clock didn't reset, so it doesn't look like they're going to give credit to Waller for it. But Waller's going to make a save right there, and shot clock's going to expire. So actually, I think they're going to say that was blocked in front. So with 1:53 to go, the Eagles will get the ball back, looking to bring it down to a single-digit deficit as time has unfortunately run out on a comeback try here for the Eagles, as there's 1:51 on the clock. Brian coming in for the shot, and that's not even Corcoran in net anymore, actually. That's Nate Burns, who's now been put into net for the Greyhounds. Not quite sure when he came in. We thought we saw him earlier in the quarter, but Nate Burns is in net for the Greyhounds. Doesn't look like our live stats have that picked up, so we'll make the adjustment there on that. And what a shot there by number 14, Andrew Grippo. Wow. A beautiful goal for Grippo, as with 1:16 to go, he did a little jump there to get that by Nate Burns, the freshman. It's now 18-9. Eagles bring it down to single digits with 1:16 to go, and we'll have a shot actually now to make this an even keel quarter in terms of goals scored for both sides. Face-off coming here with 1:13 to go, and 1:16 to go. I'm looking at the official clock that I have on my screen, which I'm doubling as production play-by-play and making sure our camera's running up on top, as well as keeping track of everything else going on. Again, we're a little short on staffing today because of the late change, so doing a little bit of everything up here. Appreciate you bearing with us with it, and everything going on today around Post Athletics and around, honestly, college sports. Post with the ball. 1 minute to go. We're going to call a penalty there on the Greyhounds with exactly 1 minute to go. It would be a 1 minute penalty issued to Caden Johnson, the freshman. Johnson's penalty going to be for unnecessary roughness. That'll take us to the end of the game when that expires. So the Eagles with probably one last goal. I'm not quite sure how they're going to play this year again. It's a 9-goal game with a minute left, so Assumption's going to come away with the victory. But Andrew Grippo with a nice goal just moments ago. That definitely will be remembered in this one. And Cameron Waters with a beautiful goal in the third. And another great goal there for the Eagles. Again, building momentum in the next game. I believe that was Chase Thondel with what might be his first collegiate goal. Let me check the stats on that for those at home. Second goal of the year, so Chase Thondel will get on the board for the Eagles. At least that's who it looked like from up here, from our vantage point. And then Andrew Grippo's goal was his second. So time winding down here, 20 seconds and counting left. There was an unreleasable penalty, so the Eagles, nope, never mind. It wasn't unreleasable. The clock just has it on there still because I believe there's an issue with trying to get it off the board. So with 16 seconds left, even strength here. Assumption just going to waste the clock out. Post with a valiant effort there at the end after starting the period down 4-0 because the Greyhounds scored the first 4 goals of the quarter, but they come back with 4 at the end. So an even keel second and fourth, and the Eagles win the third quarter. Got to be happy with what you saw in the last three quarters from the Eagles, as this one goes final 18-10. Assumption wins behind a big day from Patrick McGrath. 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists. Ben McHugh, 4 goals, 2 assists for 6 points. Shane Corcoran, we don't have the correct stats for Shane Corcoran because Nate Burns did come in late. But for the Eagles side, Aidan Waller, 11 saves, 8 goals allowed, 2 saves for Liam McCurry, and 10 goals allowed in his 1 quarter of play. Eagles lose this one 18-10. They're back on the road on Wednesday against Franklin Pierce at 4 o'clock. As for us, we'll be back here with men's lacrosse next Saturday at noon when they take on Georgian Court. But for all of us here, from facilities to operations to communications who helped make this game possible, thank you to all of you guys for tuning in and bearing with us on this last second game here from Lemoyne Field. Final score 18-10. Assumption takes the win. The Eagles fall to 1-1. Assumption moves to 3-1. I'm Mike Vesci saying see you later from Lemoyne Field. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you again soon.